Hey, Thursday, people talking sports. We're talking about Labor Day coming up this weekend. Do you have any plans?
Labor Day? No, I'll be around.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I get a little annoyed, and but when people invite me to stuff, I do get annoyed.
Yeah, I don't want to go.
I don't want to go to anything.
No, I don't want to do a thing.
I do this. Do you ever blow someone off with a bad excuse, and then a few seconds later you think of a better excuse, and you try to use that one too?
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Call him back. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's not actually a wedding. It's a funeral. Raise the stakes.
I can't make it tonight. My foot's asleep. That's my go-to. And then my follow-up is also my grandma died. That's my second. I hit him with both.
And you think the person on the other end is like, I mean, he's dealing with a lot. Not only did his grandma die, his foot also as well.
It's a lot for me. So much in the news, man. I mean, Michael Phelps, did you hear?
Yeah,
so McGregor loses.
Sure.
And I don't know if this came out of the SNL sketch or something, but I know that Michael Phelps said, he tweeted at him, "I challenged you to a race," which is like, all right, dude, you can't just challenge people to the thing you're best at.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, man.
No, you say it.
No, man, it's your show. I don't want to step on your punchline. I feel like I was doing that.
Well, I don't know. It's like, and you know that McGregor's got the irrational confidence that he's going to accept.
Right.
This is like another year of his life lost.
Right.
He's just going to get challenged by people. It's like, oh, you think you're a better ice road trucker than me? And McGregor's like, yes, I do.
I know. Why is Conor McGregor the guy you could just challenge? Just because Mayweather did it, anybody thinks they can do it? Yeah. Also, though, I kind of love that if McGregor accepts all these challenges, he's going to be like this crazy Renaissance man by the end of it. Like, he knows how to box. He knows how to ice road truck. He knows the backstroke. He knows everything.
So this is a pretty great show. We got Chris Jericho, the WWE superstar, on.
Yeah, man.
Huge.
Unbelievable.
Y2J. The Ayatollah of rock and rolla.
Yeah.
The Lion Tamer, the Walls of Jericho.
Yeah, you know all of them.
I know them all.
A couple.
I knew a couple. More with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho here.
People talking sports. So guys talking sports, more specifically today.
Yeah.
Here's the best part. I come in here. It's the MSG Network studios. Right over there on the wall is a big frame photo of Ron Duguay.
Yeah.
It's a total like glam shot. He's all hot. He's got like an earring. But just to make sure you don't forget, he's got a hockey stick in the glam shot as well.
Right.
We're missing that from hockey nowadays. Is just the Mavericks, the guys that are just out every night, just hanging out and doing whatever, partying and hanging out with the chicks. That was my favorite thing about 70s, 80s hockey was.
Yes.
It's too corporate now.
It's
you
fun,
can't do that.
Yeah.
Crosby, go out, pick up some chicks, have a couple drinks, put it on the front page of the paper. That's what I want to see.
Well, he was the guy who took his shirt off in Russia. Wasn't that Crosby?
Okay.
No, Ovechkin.
Ovechkin took his shirt off in Russia and was hammered. That was great.
If a Canadian takes his shirt off in Russia, you get arrested. they put you in the gulag. Is that a thing? A gulag.
Well, we have an amazing panel. Chris Jericho, of course.
Yes.
The only man I've ever seen take off a shirt and a scarf.
Oh, nice. Not in Russia, though.
Not in Russia. Anthony DeVito, get his album on iTunes right now. It hit the top 10. What's the name of it?
Dream Occupation.
Dream Occupation.
Nice, man.
Amazing.
Top 10.
Yeah, top 10.
That's legit rock star here.
Absolutely.
Nice,
yeah.
man.
And
There's
Greg
only 11
Stone.
albums.
And Anthony's roommate / one of my faves, Greg Stone.
Yep, that's right. You booked the roommates.
This is the second one of
How
Anthony's
did you
roommates.
get me? I live with the co-host or writer or whatever. I don't know what you were doing.
Star. I like the star.
This is the second one of Anthony's roommate we've had on this week. We had his other roommate on Monday.
Well, man, I'm actually kind of blowing my luck right now. You get extra room for me?
Dude, you're in. You want to move in?
The three roommates, this could be bigger than the producers.
Sure.
You heard about the producers? This is the roommates. Even better.
Great news if you're a wrestling fan. Ric
Or
Flair.
if you're a human being.
If you're a human being, sure.
Right?
If you're, I mean, human being in general, but I mean, Ric Flair back on Twitter, signs of that things are going the right direction. Such a legend, such a beloved.
Here, hold on, let me just throw this in. This is the great sign of the world we live in nowadays, right? So Ric Flair almost dies if you didn't hear it. But the fact that he's back on Twitter, that is the sign that everything's okay. Flair is he walking? No. Is he talking? No. But he is back on Twitter. Yes! Woo!
And so it's like, but is he on Instagram?
Yeah, not yet.
Not
Take
yet.
it slow. And Facebook is a little bit too big of a task right now.
Is he a friend of yours?
Absolutely, of course.
And I mean, I think of, you're younger, but both like.
Well, yeah, but Rick, I've worked with Rick for years, and here's the thing with a guy like Flair. Okay, he got in a plane crash,
Right.
walked away. Got struck by lightning, walked away. So whatever ailment that he had, that's not going to kill Ric Flair. You're literally going to have to pull a Monty Python and drop the 16-ton weight on him. So
He's like Rasputin.
Flair really is the Keith Richards of wrestling.
Yes.
You know, he'll be around long after all of us are. So, but good that he's back, and good that he's back on Twitter. So I'm excited about that.
He's the man. I mean, hopefully they do like different type of matches now in wrestling. You know, they do like a health insurance in a briefcase over the ring or something like that.
Well, yeah, not in wrestling. There would never be health insurance.
They don't take care of you guys?
Well, I mean, that's what a clickbait. They don't. Chris Jericho says they don't take care. No, of course they take care of. They don't do health insurance though.
What do
you
you
have to
mean?
do that yourself. You have to buy your own health insurance.
Is there like a program through that, or
Well, if you get hurt in the ring, they'll take care of it. But actual outside health, like there's no 401k
Sure.
Right.
in wrestling.
Yeah, but Vince is kind of a jerk, right?
Right? And then when I say, how you doing, guys? How you having fun? Yes. And then you'll clip that in later. Vince is a jerk. Like, yes. Different audio levels.
There was a female wrestler named Sexy Star, and she put someone in an arm bar, and she actually broke the person's arm. You saw that?
I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's something you don't do. Wrestling is not. It's not UFC. It's you trusting each other with each other's bodies to put on a show.
Yeah.
And if you intentionally hurt somebody, that's a blackball.
Yeah.
That's a blackball from
Right.
the business. She will never work in the business again.
Yeah.
She won't. Because if she came into a locker room, my locker room, get out.
Yeah.
Because accidents happen,
Right.
guys get hurt. There's been guys that even got paralyzed before in wrestling, but not on purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
If somebody intentionally hurts somebody, get out. So I don't know her, I never met her, never saw her, don't really care to see it. But it's a real thing that legitimately happened, and she won't work again. No one's going to hire her.
Yeah, I wouldn't even hire, I mean, as a comedian, when you stop doing comedy, it's hard to get a job. Like, I couldn't imagine when she's like, so you were a bad boy Carlos in the Glow Riders? It's like, what are you going to do in clinical information management? It's like, I don't know.
But that's what I mean. It's just, it goes against, whatever. What's the cardinal sin of stand-up comedy? Cutting each other.
Putting people in
Stealing
our bars.
Stealing jokes.
Stealing jokes, right? Or
Putting people
another
in
guy, I know. Whatever the story is, blackball, get out of here. We're not talking about her anymore. She's like the thing that should not be. Do not say the name of. Don't think it. Don't even visualize it.
Voldemort.
Let's move on. Yeah, exactly. You can say that, right?
It is funny that her name is Sexy Star, though,
Yeah,
because
right.
that's the thing about wrestling. You have to say the name.
Well, this is Mexican wrestling, which is always a little bit weird. You're talking about a company that everybody has English names: Dr. Wagner Jr., Blue Demon, and then I come in there and they call me Corazon de Leon. Why do I have the Spanish name and I'm Canadian,
funny.
and all the Mexican guys have the English names? It doesn't make any sense at all.
You come in there like, and Mr. Gringo.
Yeah, exactly. There was a guy that worked there called Chicago Express. I go, where are you from? He's like, Guadalajara.
We're back with our esteemed
We're having a
panel
great
here.
time here, guys.
We're having a good
I know we're gonna
time.
record.
We're excited that Chris is enjoying
Can
himself.
I just say something? You
Yeah.
were saying before that there's a crowd and they're laughing. There's no one laughing. There's no crowd. There's like one stagehand over there eating a banana, and she's there looking.
That's
so.
the pressure we put on ourselves to be great. A Royals pitcher, Danny Duffy, was arrested for a DUI at a Burger King. By the way, if you're at a Burger King drive-thru and the guy in the window is like, you got to get your life together, and you're a pro athlete.
I guess would that be a drunk drive-thru? How are ya? It was 11.
I did actually.
Yeah.
I'm a New York kid, so I've walked. I can't really drive. I've walked through a drive-thru
Did they
drunk.
let you?
Yeah.
I used to try and do that when I was a teenager. Like, you can't walk through.
Yeah, they don't
get
let
mad.
you.
That's not fair.
It's
I
not
know.
fair.
I didn't have a car.
Well, that's what I
Very
said.
upsetting.
Like, what if you didn't have a car?
Yeah.
Financial situation not
Exactly.
good. That excludes me from drive-through late night hamburgers. That's prejudice.
What's your-
Also, too, if
That's
anything,
prejudice.
it's like I'm being safer.
Yeah.
Even if I had a car,
That's
it's like
right.
I'm walking through. Why can't you allow that?
There's a lawsuit
Or
in
get
there
a different
somewhere.
window.
Did you ever hear about the guy that tried to get a job at Hooters as a waitress?
Yeah.
And
No.
he sued them for sexual discrimination?
Yeah, it was me.
That's true. Yeah, did you win?
Yeah. Make it like a
Let's
$1,500.
let's celebrate with
$150?
let's celebrate with a march through the Burger King drive-thru.
Yeah. I love what Burger King's up to now, though, man. Hot dogs? They're doing everything. I love it. Croissants. We're doing Cinnabons.
So you know, like a really good hamburger, right? And then you go to Burger King, it's a lesser quality.
Yeah. Sure.
So is it going to be the same with hot dogs? Because hot dogs are already lesser quality.
Yeah.
What are they going to be giving you?
Dirt. It's like dirt in a bun.
Turn on a bun. There's a hot dog.
The other thing I loved about this story too is so like he fell asleep in his car at the drive-thru, right? Like that's how they tipped him off.
That's great.
But we heard sirens. He woke up. But he tried to get the other drivers behind him in line to sit in the front seat so he could kind of get out of it. I just like love his pitch to the other drivers, where he was like, "I'll get you as many Whoppers as you want. Like, please do this."
You want the new Burger King hot dog? I'll throw that in there as well. What do you need?
This is a weird one. This pro golfer, this story, Lucas Glover, I don't know if you guys saw this. He got injured on a swing. I like that, by the way, that golfers get injured. It's like this, the same as like the way an old woman gets injured. They just like fall a little. We should get like golfers' life alerts, I feel like, you know?
If I'm a golfer and I get injured while golfing, I ain't telling anybody. Because that has to be the worst, lamest injury ever. Yeah, we've got a pro athlete in here. He got injured. His arm is hurt. Was he a football player? No. Baseball? No. Golf.
Yeah.
Right?
Like if you took a golf car over a lake, I'd be like, all right, he got injured. Fine. But it's on a swing? Sorry, man. You could have been on fire. It was a flaming swing. It's like, all right.
It's also hilarious that he apologized.
Yeah.
Like he's hurt.
Well, he should apologize. I'm sorry that I'm such a wimp that I threw up my arm golfing, and it wasn't even. It was a putt. It wasn't even a drive. It's a putt.
Was it a putt?
Yeah.
No, I think it was a drive.
I'm saying it's a putt.
Okay. Look, I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm not fake news. Yeah, fake news. Fake news says it was a putt. See?
Yeah, he's definitely a better. I mean, I definitely would have blamed someone.
Yeah.
I think that's like the New Yorker in me, where I'd be like, someone needs to do something about this grass. But this guy, like, he was like, it's my fault. All right, we're back on People Talking Sports, joined by the Ayatollah of rock and roll himself, Chris Jericho.
Woo. Am I still allowed to say that in this day and age?
I hope so.
This PC era?
I hope.
Yeah, okay.
How do you feel about that? Because you're like one of the best guys on the mic, and you have to kind of watch it now.
That's always fine. I never had a problem with that when people were like, it's PG now. That's not. If you can't make people laugh or entertain people as G, PG, XXX, everything in between, then you're not as good as you think you are. You do your job within the rules that you're given. So I don't have to say swears to be fun.
Yeah.
Although I could if you want me to. Is that this type of show?
No,
what are we doing here on MSG?
No.
I mean, we were fans. Like, I remember when you first came to the WWF, I had the Y2J cutoff shirt. You know, cut it off like you. That was like a cool. That was a cool way. Did you come up with that concept of how to come in with the Y2J?
You always come up with most of your own characters, and Y2J was an offshoot of the Y2K bug that was going on.
Yeah.
Do you remember how crazy that was at the time?
Yeah.
Like I even stocked up like Tang, and I had like $5,000 cash hidden in like a box in my room because like this is going down, like everything's done, right?
Yeah.
And so then, so I thought, what a cool thing to kind of focus on Y2K. My last name is J, which rhymes with K. Not exactly rocket science, but that's what it was. But the best thing is now is that kids come to you and say, what does Y2J mean? I'm like, it's a long story.
Yeah,
Go ask your parents.
Y2J was bigger than Y2K.
Good call.
Actually,
Yeah.
Like, we were
Yeah, that's a good call.
ready for the world to shut
I
down.
like that.
But it was like Y2J.
Then this guy shows up.
Bigger
Jeez.
threat.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
I like
I still remember the song, the Break the Walls Down
my
song.
God.
That was the same one.
It was.
It changed. It's not like I remember. Remember Dixie's Midnight Runners? That was a good song.
No, but I mean, when paired with the theme, it worked. The way you kind of entered, you were at a WCW at the time, right?
Ah, dude,
was.
that was great, man. The countdown clock to you coming in, the whole thing, I was so
Yeah,
exciting.
cool, man.
That's
Thank
probably,
you.
I'd say, one of the best entrances of all time to this day.
Yeah, it was a
Yes.
good one. There was,
Yeah,
there
my
was a
creative
good build
character
up for really?
gets
Really?
it's Y2G in my head.
Awesome.
And then
now, when I actually before or later, depending on where this airs on the show, I get asked if I play video games, wrestling videos. I'm going to create you.
I love it.
Create your character.
What would you make his character?
G Money, and that's with 4 E's.
Yeah.
MONEEEE.
Yeah, and
G Money.
How about favorite feuds you've had?
Well, Shawn Michaels is great. He was awesome.
Sure.
The Rock is great. He was awesome. You know, there's a lot of guys, but the biggest thing is connecting with the audience and having the best storyline behind it. That's my favorite thing is the stories that you tell. Anybody can, not anybody, but you can get in the ring and do moves and do flips and flops, whatever. It doesn't mean anything. You have to connect. And there's guys that weren't great wrestlers at all that made some of the biggest money of all time because of the stories they told. And there's some of the most athletic wrestlers of all time that didn't ever do anything because they didn't have the personality or the connection with the audience. That's what this is showbiz.
Similar
It's
to comedy,
1,000%.
man.
It's exactly the same as
comedians, these
comedy.
guys who just sit there and they just do jokes, and everyone's just like, I don't care. Like, you gotta give them a little juice.
That's the thing in this book that I just wrote. No is a 4-letter word. I started writing it because people would always ask me, how did you get into wrestling? How did you make it in music and all these different things? So I put together 20 principles of lessons that I learned that helped me get the results that I wanted to make my dreams come true, my goals. And one of them is the Groundlings principle, which is I was in the Groundlings in LA, the improv comedy troupe, and the number one rule of Groundlings is always commit. And that's something you can put in your whole, you have to commit, whether it's comedy, wrestling, music, a TV show. If you make people believe that what you're doing is real, they'll always respond favorably. And that's like one of the biggest things.
I love
very
that.
similar. You know?
That's true, I think. Yeah, I mean, Greg's talking about like comedy when the structure works is a great analogy, I think. People, it doesn't matter if there's not an honesty and a connection there, and it's similar to your character.
The connection is from the committing to it, believing in it, and working hard. That's the Vince McMahon principle: is work hard and then work harder. You have to put the time in if you want to get what you want, along with the commitment, along with the belief in yourself, and all that stuff. The coolest thing I liked about the book is that there's just little tidbits of advice that you've heard before. But when you see them all together, it becomes like this self-help manual that really helps people. Now that the book comes out, you can hear people go, I like this principle. I really like the Yoda principle. There is no try, there's only do. Don't tell me that you want to try and do something, just go do it.
Yeah.
And that's like I could become a modern day Tony Robbins. or is it Tony Little? Tony Jericho. With my faithful assistant G Money. Woo!
Well, you also, you have a chapter on Damone, right, from Fast Times?
The Mike Damone principle.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, Damone is the guy who's the scalper. And he's trying to help his friend go on a date. And he says, act like wherever you are is the place to be. Look at this. Isn't this great? And to me, I always love that. No matter what you're doing, that's the place to be. That's where you make it seem like it's the greatest thing in the world. Like, what do you think? Oh, I'm taking out the garbage, and it is going to be awesome. Because if you look at life that way, it's a whole lot more fun and a whole lot more, you get more results than you're like, I have to take out the stupid garbage again. Oh, I got to go to work again. I got to do this again. No, wherever you are, that's the place to be.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So that sort of stuff, you know, and like I said, these principles are from people that I actually met, people that I were fans of, like the David Bowie principle, which is reinvent yourself. If you're in, like Bowie always changed, always morphed into something slightly different, kept you guessing, kept it fresh. If you're in a rut, reinvent yourself. I did it in the WWE for years, because I didn't ever want to be the same character over and over again, the same look, the same hairstyle, the same moves, catchphrases, whatever it may be, and it keeps you exciting.
Yeah.
You know.
And also, there's the possibility that it won't work, and that's exciting.
That's
too.
exciting too. And there are. I list all the Y2J personas, the Jericho personas through the years, and some of them weren't as good. It just you try things that don't really work as much. But that's where you understand. It's like your favorite band. They're always going to have the best album, the best period, the really low kind of crappy period. Then you know that's where you get the career longevity. Is from diversity and from reinvention.
That's great. And also, you tap into new fans you wouldn't have had as if you stuck to this one character the whole time.
It's like if you go see, I always relate everything to music for whatever reason, but if you go see a band that tours every summer but never puts out a new record, it's a nostalgia show. Oh boy, it was fun to hear that song, but it's not exciting. I like it when a new band comes out and they play, you know, Iron Maiden's guilty of it, play like 6 songs from the record. People get mad at that, but why wouldn't you? It keeps you growing. Wrestling is art. Whenever you create something out of nothing, music's the same, comedy's the same. You've got a blank slate. What's my set tonight? I better think of some jokes. You know, that to me is a real cool thing when you have people come up to you and say that you influence them to follow their own dreams. And that's kind of what I want to do, not only with this book, but my whole career is like, I'm, you know, wrestler, music, rocker, whatever, podcast guy, author, guy on People Talking Sports. Just be a billboard to, like, if you want to do something, go out there and make it happen.
And we're back with Liz Gonzalez and another thing.
Earlier this week, Matt Stafford became the highest paid player in the history of the NFL. 5 years, $135 million, deserves every penny, which is more than I can say about a lot of athletes out there. So we're going to kick off today's list of overpaid players with Brock Osweiler, who this year is making $16 million. That's more money than Tom Brady, except that the Browns have now declared DeShone Kizer the starting quarterback. So essentially, he's getting paid money to just chill.
Oof. And that's a bad thing? That's
bad thing.
It's like a dream job for all of us idiots.
That's what I've been doing on the panel all day.
Yeah, geez, am I getting $16 million for this?
Do you want somebody to earn their money, earn their keep?
Well, absolutely, especially as a pro athlete. But it's one of those things you can never demean the guy who's making the money. It's the owners for paying him that in the first place.
Sure.
If he was smart enough to get $16 million as a backup quarterback, I can't cut him down. Pro sports is hard, man. You know, to make it to that level, even just to get to a pro team.
Right.
Even the same with WWE. There's guys that have worked for years and have been stars on top and get to the WWE and just don't know how to take it to that next level and just flub right out.
Right.
You know, that's a tough thing. So sports are hard, guys. In the book, you have to have that confidence and that commitment to being the best if you want to be, or maybe you just want to make money and float back. But in wrestling, if you get that money and float back, you'll be gone soon enough. There's always little secrets in there to get rid of you if you're not doing your job.
We were talking about
Largest
hockey.
wrestlers of the world.
We didn't even get to, your dad was a New York Ranger.
Yeah. People always ask, how's Teddy Irvin? How's your dad doing? Number 27.
Did you get some of that from him, some of that drive?
Yeah, he played for the Rangers from 70 to 75, which was the glory years of the Rangers until Messie's years. To the point where he got traded to the Blues, he didn't want to play hockey anymore because the Rangers were so.
Wow.
He's like, he's a Ranger for life with
right.
Neil Francis and Ed Jackman and Rod Gilbert and all those guys. But he says like it's the best time of his life. And I still, whenever I come to New York, this is the greatest city in the world for sports. Whether you've played here for one season or whether you played here for 20, if you make your mark and people like you, you'll never be forgotten in this area.
That is our soundbite right there.
Right there, yeah. It's true.
Best city in the world. What a great show, Chris. Thank you so much
Thanks,
for joining
man.
us.
Appreciate it. Good to see you again,
Good
man.
to see you again. Liz Gonzalez,
Absolutely,
Anthony
man.
DeVito.
Congratulations
I'll be at
on
the
everything,
Albany
dude.
Funny Bone this weekend. Come out and keep
Side
watching
Splitters in Tampa next month.
in September.